have a couple people tonight. There are a few more that were signed up, but they might join us later. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm recording this so I can share it with the people who aren't able to attend. Just going over, grabbing my notes here. So welcome to our presentation tonight. And today we're going to talk about how to grow your house cleaning business. And since it's just the three of us here tonight, we can talk a little bit about your business before we get started. And then I'll jump into my presentation and my teaching. So we have plenty of time. So Heather, where are you located?
I am located in Indiana.
Oh, okay. I'm not far from you. I'm in Michigan. And how long have you been in business?
Well, I've actually been cleaning for 23 years. So I've done everything so far up till now, pretty much just myself and on a personal basis. But I started my business in December.
Okay. Oh, wow. Congratulations. So you're thinking of growing it beyond just what you can do, right?
Yes. And thank you.
Good. Excellent. Well, we're glad you're here. And then Sarah, where are you located?
I'm located in Colorado, and I started in July 2021.
Okay, great. And is it just you, or do you have people working with you?
It's just me right now.
Okay, great. Well, this is perfect timing for both of you. And any people who might be watching this on the replay, I'm going to be sharing tips that help people who are just starting out and people who've been in business for a long time. So I'll be jumping in here in just a minute. Let's see, I'm just going to get my presentation set up so that we can see it. Great. So I'm going to share my screen. But feel free to interrupt me at any time, since it is just the three of us. It's a small group tonight. And so if you have questions, don't hesitate to just say, hey, Jeannie, I have a quick question. And I will have time for questions at the end. So I'm going to share my screen that has a presentation. Got to get that going. Share screen. All right, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome, great. All right, well, I'm glad that you're joining us tonight for how to grow your house cleaning business. Thank you for registering for our free Zoom webinar. So this is the first of a series of 4 webinars that I'm going to be offering free to members of our Your House Cleaning Business group. And I'll be telling you a little bit more about me and things like that as we get through the presentation. But the reason that I want to share this information tonight is because I am in the residential cleaning business. And when I started out 7 years ago, I had a really rough start. So I was cleaning in the field, and I just had completely the wrong structure for my business. I had the wrong people on my team, and I really had a lot of chaos. So I really struggled with growth because I just didn't have all the things right. And at that time, I was doing all the things in my business. So I was the salesperson, I was the hiring manager, I was the cleaner, I was the person who went and got the supplies, I was the one who washed the towels, all of the things I did. And I was really overwhelmed. I was burning out, and I was stuck at a certain level, and I couldn't get beyond that point. And I didn't have a plan. I really didn't think ahead to where I wanted to go. And I was just kind of guessing what I was going to do next. So what I did tomorrow was just what I thought maybe I needed to do today. I didn't really plan ahead. And so I want to help people get beyond that. So my goal for you in this webinar is to help you grow. There is so much opportunity in the cleaning business. I'll be talking a little bit more about that, but I want to give you direction as you grow your cleaning business and give you strategies to get you beyond where you are now. A lot of people will get to a certain point and they get stuck. So if you are stuck, I want to get you unstuck, but I really just want to help people in the residential cleaning business grow. And I want to help everybody attract the right clients by knowing who your ideal client is and attracting them with an irresistible brand. I want to help you build a great team as you grow, because once you grow from what you can do yourself, you have to overcome the fear of hiring the wrong person. So we're going to be talking about that on one of our future webinars. And then also understanding technology and how it can help you grow. Learn about a lot of the great tools that are available and which ones are the right ones for you. You don't need a lot of technology, obviously, to have a cleaning business, but there are some tools out there that can help you grow. So I am a member of an organization called Cleaning Business Fundamentals. It's been part of my business for 6 years. And it's an organization of residential cleaning business owners throughout North America primarily, but really all over the world. And I became a certified coach in that program. And I really believe that to keep growing as an entrepreneur, you really have to keep learning. And that's what I have found and that's why I love to help people coach and help people learn. This is one of the quotes that I absolutely love about learning. Learning is so important for us to get to where we want to go. And usually those of us who are starting a business, the reason we started that business is because we want to change either our financial situation in life, or we want to change our personal situation. And I love this quote by Jim Rohn. He's a wonderful leadership trainer, or was. He's passed now. But he said, rich people have big libraries and poor people have big TVs. And basically what that's saying is we have to keep learning. And yes, you can learn you can learn some things by watching TV, but really we have to invest in ourselves if we want to grow. Now, I have some great news for the cleaning industry. And that one of the things is that the cleaning industry is growing. I'm actually currently in Dallas working with some other cleaning business owners. And this is one thing we've been talking about a lot. The cleaning business, the residential cleaning business has grown every year since 2011. The industry is going like this. And it's growing faster than any other segment in the home services industry. So you've selected a great business to get into right now. And the residential cleaning market is expected to be worth $40 billion by 2025. And we all have the opportunity to have some of that 40 billion, right? It's a huge industry, and we're also lucky to be part of it. And this is one of my favorite pieces of information. 80% of households are expected to use residential cleaning services by next year in some way, shape, or form. It might be one-time cleaning or recurring cleaning, but 80% of households will be using some form of residential cleaning. Now, what this means is that there's tons of opportunity out there. There's plenty of cleaning business for all of us. And that's why I'm so willing to help anyone who really wants to grow their cleaning business. I don't see anyone as competition. There's plenty of business for all of us. So if we haven't met before, I wanted to share a little bit about who I am and why I'm here today. So my why is my family. And I started my residential cleaning business. There's a picture there of the Henderson family there. My sweet husband, Terry, is in the middle. My daughter, Julie, is on the left, and my son, Travis, is on the right. My son-in-law, Aaron, is on the end. And I love my family. I love spending time with my family. And I really wanted to have more free time. For me, it was more about time than it was about money, but you have to have money to have free time. So that's why I started my business. And it's still my why today. Everything that I do is so that I can enjoy time with the people who matter most to me. I have been in many businesses, so I'm a serial entrepreneur. I was in the restaurant business before this and the nonprofit industry. And so I've been in business leadership all my life, but I did find out that I did not know how to run a cleaning business when I tried to start one 7 years ago. I joined Cleaning Business Fundamentals about a year after starting my business. And very quickly, my business grew from $250,000 a year to over $1 million, and I was no longer in the field. And what we call that in CBF is a mop-free millionaire. So I became a mop-free millionaire in 2020, and I now have a business that's doing over the $1.5 million run rate. So in a year, I'm expected to do about $1.5 million in revenue. But I started out just like you, cleaning in the field. And I never thought that I would have a business this size, but I'm so excited that I'm now a CBF coach and able to share what I've learned with other people to help them grow. So I'm going to be sharing lots of tips with you. I hope you have your notepad ready to jot down some ideas as I share with you today. All right. And if you want to use the chat, you're welcome to use the chat. If you have questions, again, feel free to raise your hand. There's a little hand raising tool at the bottom of the screen that you can bring up, or just interrupt me. Feel free if you have questions. All right, so this is part 1 of a 4-part webinar. And today what we're going to talk about is getting started the right way. And these are going to be our topics for today. It all starts with you. So that's the good news, is you have a lot of control about the direction that you're going in your business, because it all starts with you. And we're going to talk about how you can take control of your business. Number 2, we're going to talk about knowing where you're going. And number 3, defining who you are as the CEO of your business and setting boundaries around your time to help you be successful. All right. So it starts with you. And I want you to think about that as good news, because all of us have different ideas about what the cleaning business is all about and what we can expect. But the great news is that you are the determining factor in the success of your business. And this was very freeing for me once I discovered that I have the power to make all the changes I need to make to grow my cleaning business. So we're going to talk about the statistics around business owners, and we don't want you to be just a statistics. We're going to teach you how to adopt a CEO mindset. So this is a very powerful strategy. Our success begins right here. And wanting to have a cleaning business is important, but what you believe is even more important. And then I'm going to share with you some of the most important things that you can do to be in the top 7% or even the top 1% of all cleaning business owners. So you may have heard some of these statistics before. And I wonder if I can show the chat at the same time here. I'm trying to run my controls. There we go. I'm having a little trouble with my controls here today. I apologize. All right. So in the chat, be sure and answer any questions or anything like that I ask. And to bring up the chat, you can just go down to the bottom of the screen and there's a little button that you can select for chat. But the scary part about the statistics around business is nearly 1 in 5 U.S. businesses fail within the first year. And I certainly don't want that for you or anyone watching this webinar. And we have control over that. But I think it's really important to understand it, because businesses don't just succeed because we start them. We have to be very intentional about the choices that we make so that we aren't one of these statistics. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics said that 45% fail during the first 5 years. So that's almost half of all businesses don't make it 5 years. I've made it to 7, so phew. But 65% of businesses fail in the first 10 years, and only 25% of new businesses make it to 15 years or more. But congratulations, Heather, you've been around for a long time, so that's awesome. And now growing into, another growth mode for you, that's pretty exciting. Whoops, I got to get my slide to fit forward. Okay, so today I want to talk about having a CEO mindset. So these are some things that we sometimes say when people are talking to us about our businesses. And it depends on what size your business is to kind of how you feel about it. But these are common mindsets that we hear from other residential cleaning business owners. Often cleaning business owners, when they know that they need to make changes or they know that they need to take action, will say, I just don't have the time, the money, or the energy. Sometimes when we suggest, well, maybe you need to raise prices in your market, people will say, well, my business is different. I can't do that in my business, or my customers aren't going to like it. And sometimes when people, need to hire someone, people will say, well, no one wants to work. I've tried hiring people before, or if there's some new strategy, people will say, well, that won't work in my area, or my cleaners will never go for that. And have you ever caught yourself saying those things to yourself or being doubtful? Know that this is common. This is what we all go through when we're trying to grow or start our cleaning business. It's natural to have these feelings of doubt or fear. And this is something that can get in our way if we allow it. But I'm going to give you a tool right now, and I hope that you'll take some notes here. I'm going to give you a tool right now called the Victor Victim Tool. Let's see if I just can't get my screen to go forward. There we go. All right. Excuse me. So this is what we call the Victor Victim Principle. And if you can adopt this for yourself, this is going to set you up for growth. This is a very powerful business strategy. And if you look at all the successful people in the world, the people who are the most successful are going to have a victor mindset. They're going to be a winner, and they're going to have a winner mindset. And if you look at people whose businesses stall or don't grow, they're going to exhibit some of the characteristics of a victim. And this is a choice. It's all mindset. It's all how you decide to approach it. So let me know in the chat if there's anything here as I'm talking about it that you identify with, that you need to overcome, because this is something we all deal with. I dealt with it in the beginning, but I'm here to help you get over any victim mindset that you might have. So a victor is someone who exhibits these characteristics. They tend to be an opportunity seeker. They are always looking for the next opportunity and how they can take advantage of it. And we have a little acronym of words that you can kind of use to describe what a victor is. And we use the word prove because they prove that they're successful. So number one, victors are proactive. They don't wait for things to come to them. They go out seeking opportunity and taking action. It's not wondering if you should do something, it's if you take action. So Sarah says, I'm definitely guilty of making excuses and being afraid or scared to take the next steps. I know I need to make in order to keep my clients happy. Yes, Sarah. And we all do that, making excuses about why we can't do this and why we can't do that. So taking responsibility and full ownership of everything in our business as the owners. When there is something wrong in our business, we have to look in the mirror because we're the source of everything that's happening in our business. We can blame it on other people, but when you take responsibility and ownership for it, that means now you're in control. If you blame it on something else, you've given that thing power. Now it controls you. And so taking that ownership is so powerful. This is one of the things I do in my business all the time. Whenever there's a problem, I say, I actually was talking with someone in my business today and we were having a problem. And I said, well, I obviously must not have, correctly or thoroughly communicated our policy about that certain issue. And that's why our employees are confused. I knew that I could do better. I could do more to change it. Owners who are victors are also visionaries. And I'm going to talk about casting a vision a little bit later, but we're visionaries. We're always thinking about, ooh, what can I try next? What can I do next? We're out there researching different ways to grow. Being a visionary is part of being a victor. And we value excellence, not perfection, because no one is perfect. Only God is perfect, right? No one is perfect, but we value excellence. Let's see. So let's see. Heather says, this is an excuse, but yet a question, because I have issues with charging the amount people have recommended because people don't pay that much around here. Okay, so that's that. People won't pay that around here, right? I said that exact same thing when I started my business. So this is something we can really work on today. And I recently did not get a job because it was priced too high, and that's what I'm struggling with. Yes, and we are going to be talking next time, which will be on Monday the 13th. We are going to talk about getting the right clients and charging the right price. So don't miss that one. And I'll make replays available in case you can't make it. But this is one of the things we have to believe we are worth what we're charging to be able to sell at that price, right? So we're going to talk more about that. I'm so glad you brought that up, Heather. And so we don't want to be victims. Victims blame everything but themselves for their current situation. They make excuses why things aren't working. They always look at things in the negative light, where a victor will flip the script and think of a positive way to say that. They're in denial that they have anything to do with their situation in life. And they have a scarcity mindset. And that scarcity mindset is always looking for something that's wrong and always saying, well, I can't spend that money, or I can't, give freely to my employees in this certain way because I need that money for myself. But the more we give and the more we put out into the world, the more that comes back to us. So we want to shift that scarcity mindset to abundance. What are the good things that can happen? And when we focus on the good, the negative things kind of will fall away. And this has been very powerful in my life and in my business. But when we blame, excuse, think negatively, deny, and we have a scarcity mindset, we become failure magnets. None of us want to be that, right? None of us want to be a failure magnet. So you definitely want to be thinking positively if you want positive growth. When you think negatively, that's the energy that you get in your business, and it can cause failure for you. So what is the biggest challenge for everybody who's here with me right now? If you want to put that in the chat, that would be great. I'm just trying to fix my chat here. There we go. All right. So I love this quote. It says, successful people have fear. Successful people have doubts, and successful people have worries. They just don't let these feelings stop them. So success is not the absence of fear. It's what you do about it. And I like to tell people, when you're afraid of something, that's a sign that success is just a few steps away. But when you force yourself to do something you're uncomfortable with, you get that much closer to growth and success. Fear is just a shadow that you step into and it disappears. And everything that you want in your future is on the other side of things that you're scared of. And so we have to always be charging into our fear, charging into our doubts and worries, because that's the only way we can conquer them. Sarah says, hiring help and trusting them to uphold her standards. That's one of her fears, and being able to afford paying them with their worth. Yeah. This is a number one issue for people. So that's what we're going to talk about on our third night of our webinar is the best way to hire the best help for your business and how to create that trust in your business so that they're out there delivering excellence to your clients. And we know that all business owners care about this. And if I can do it, and I have a team of 25 cleaners right now in my business, and if I can have even 5 cleaners or 10 cleaners or 25 cleaners, I know that you can do it too, Sarah. So I'm so glad that you brought that up. And Heather said that is something she's concerned about too, is paying her help the correct amount. So we're going to talk about that in our third webinar. But I'm so glad that you brought that up. And I'm going to make sure that I'm including a lot of information that's going to be helpful for you. All right, so, oops. So today we want to talk about ending your limiting beliefs. You can hire the right people. They are out there. And if you believe it, it's a whole lot more likely that you'll be able to do it. And investing in yourself and spending your time wisely. These are important things that you need to do to grow your business. Whoops. Okay. I want to make sure I covered everything really quick. Yeah, okay. So we covered everything in that section. So just remember, whoops, go back. Remember that everything in your business has to do with what you do. Your action or your inaction directly affects your business. Things don't just happen. It has to do with what we do as business leaders and what we direct our teams to do. All right, so we talked about mindset. That is so important. It starts with you. So remember that, and remember that you want to always have that victor mindset. So this is a number one success strategy. Number 2 is setting your course. This is a step that so many people miss, and I'm going to be 100% vulnerable and honest here. I skipped this. I skipped this when I started my cleaning business, and this is one of the reasons why I had so much chaos in my first year of running my cleaning business. So don't miss this step. So we're going to talk about declaring your why, setting some big goals, and creating systems. So when you find your why, you'll find your way. And think about, when we talk about finding your way, think about an airplane that's flying across the country. And imagine if they just got in the airplane and didn't decide where they were going to go until they were up in the air. It would be pandemonium. Half the people on the plane wouldn't want to go where the pilot decided to go. And how would the pilot know where he's going if he doesn't have the course mapped out? This is why we need to think about where we want to go, where we want to end up in the future, when we're starting out. We have to plot our course. And if we don't, you don't get it, you don't plan a week of vacation and get in the car and not know where you're going, right? You make a plan. And that's what you need to do for your business as well. But that plan needs to be directed by your why, that thing that's important to you in your heart, why you are doing this. So think about your why. What is one reason why you're doing what you're doing, or more than one reason? So if you want to share that in the chat, what's your reason why? What's one of the reasons why you started your business? And you can speak too if you want to. All right, so Sarah said time for family. Yep, and that one is such an important thing. But we often get in the cleaning business and we wanted to have more time, but the business takes over our life. It consumes all available time, energy, and emotion. And that's what happened to me. And that's why I'm sharing this with you today, because I started it to have time with my family, but I had no time once my business started growing. And so I want you to grow in an efficient way so you can manage that time. And Heather started her business to be independent and not be an employee, right? So you have some natural leadership desires in your heart. And this is a great way where you can choose the course of your life, choose the course of your days, decide how you're going to spend your money and your time. That's a great thing about being an entrepreneur. So I'm glad that you both have identified that. All right. So now that you have talked about your why, now you want to think about goals. Now, this is really amazing. When I first learned this, it was life-changing for me. So why goals matter. And I think all of us want to be different in our business. We want to be different than all of the other businesses so that people want to do business with us. So employees want to come work with us and maybe not somebody else. Well, I'll tell you what, setting goals will make you different. And you know why? Because 83% of people in a Harvard business study said they had no goals. Looks like we lost Sarah there for a minute. Okay, so 83% of the respondents in this study had no goals. And imagine if you have no goals, you have no idea where you're going. But 14% of people in this study said they did have plans or goals, but had not written them down. Now, the study did find, though, that people who had a goal in their head were 10 times more likely to reach that goal than people without any goals, right? You're going to go somewhere, right? You're 10 times more likely. But if you really want to be different than everyone else and be able to grow your business faster and more efficiently, then you really want to write down your goals. Just 3% of the people in this study wrote down their goals, and they were 3 times more likely than the previous group to succeed. That's 30 times more likely to grow. And when I very first started my business, I didn't have goals, but my coach, when I started Cleaning Business Fundamentals, encouraged me to write my goals down, and I did. Oh, let's see. All right, so I will make sure that Sarah gets the video. I'll send the replay out to everybody who registered. So Sarah had to run off. So I hope you can stick with me. Heather, can you stay with me?
Yes, I'm gonna stick with
Awesome.
you.
Okay. Great. I appreciate it. Because I'm going to go ahead and finish this webinar, and we're going to share it. There are about 10 people who signed up for tonight, and I'll share it with everybody who signed up. So great. So thanks for sticking with me. So as you can see, it makes such a huge difference. Well, I didn't have goals in the beginning, and my coach encouraged me to write down my goals. And I did that, and I kept them on the wall. And one of my goals, because I had seen other people grow big, successful cleaning businesses, was to become a $1 million business. And so I had that on my wall for 3 years, I think, well, 2.5 years. It took me to reach that goal from the time I set it to when I reached my $1 million revenue mark. But I know that I never would have reached it if I hadn't written it down and put it on the wall. And I also did another thing that's really powerful. I told other people about that goal. When you tell others about your goal, you are a whole lot more likely to do it because you feel like you're being held accountable. So that was really powerful for me. So I'm going to share this form. I'm going to put the link to this form in the chat a little bit later. I'm going to do it at the end of the workshop. Don't let me forget, but I'll share this form with you. And this is a form where you declare your why and what your mission is for your business. What's your long-term why? And then you're going to set objectives where you want to be 12 months from now. And then you're going to break it down into smaller pieces. This is how you reach goals. Because if we look at the goal, like let's say you want to have a $100,000 business 12 months from now. If you just say that and you don't break it down into smaller pieces, the chances of reaching it are pretty slim. But if you declare that, but then break it down into smaller pieces, you can do it one step at a time. So for example, you want to be $100,000 business. So what do you need to do in the next 90 days to help you get there? One of the things that you might need to do is hire your next staff person, raise prices, add more clients. How many more clients do you need to add in the next 90 days? And you keep breaking your goals down into smaller and smaller pieces. And that's how you get there. I like to think of your big goal as the top of a staircase, a very long staircase. And then each step along the way gets you there. But you want to just focus on the step you're standing on now. Because if you focus at the top of the staircase, it seems impossible to reach it. You know, $1 million seemed impossible. But what I did was I figured out how many clients it would take me to have $1 million. And then I figured out how many employees it would take me to serve that number of clients. And then I figured out how much I needed to be charging each of those clients. And I kept working towards those goals a little bit at a time. So I think I needed like 15 employees to get to that million. And so I knew I just needed to add 3 employees this quarter. I needed to add 3 more employees this quarter. And then I needed to fill their schedules with clients paying full price. And it slowly helped me get there. So I'm going to share this form with you so that you are able to declare your why and your 12-month goal, and then start to think about how you can break it into smaller and smaller pieces. Break it down into what I'm going to do the next 90 days. What am I going to do in the next 30 days? What am I going to do in the next 7 days? What am I going to do this week? And then what am I going to do today? And I want to encourage you to do at least one thing every day that's moving you towards your goal. Even if it's just something that takes 10 minutes, it might be picking up the phone and confirming that new client and getting them on the schedule. It might be placing an ad on Indeed to hire an employee. But do one thing every day. They don't have to take a long time, but imagine if you do one thing every day, and we all tend to work, like 250 days a year. So that's like 250 things you'll get done in a year if you do one thing every day. And just try to keep celebrating each of those goals. I love to write down my accomplishments because that encourages me. It tells me I'm moving forward. Great. If you take this, I need to go back. If you take this goal sheet and you start breaking your goals down, that's really going to help you. So Heather, what's a long range goal for you? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, of course, I have a short-term goal, of things have happened in my life, to just be able to get to the income right now to where I can be independent, financially. But my long-term goal is to have enough help and clients to where I don't have to be out in the field, kind of like what you did, just to where I can just manage people's schedules, send them out to jobs, and I don't have to actually be the one going out there and doing the cleaning.
Yeah, right. So yeah, getting to that mop-free point is a huge accomplishment. And, you can pick a point in the future where you want to be there. In Cleaning Business Fundamentals, we teach a program called 90 Days to Mop Free. And you set a date 90 days out, and then you figure out all the steps, and we walk you through all the steps that you need to take to get there. But you can do that yourself. Set a date in the future. I really encourage you to set a date and then go backtrack and figure out, what do I need to do to get to that point where I don't have to clean? How many employees is that? And how much income is that? And then figure out how to get there. It's when we just kind of guess and we just shoot from the hip all day long that it just feels like we're never going to get there. But when we set a date and we plan it out, it makes it so much better. So I encourage you to dream big and set that big goal of getting out of the field, and then understand all the pieces that you need to get there, and then break it into even smaller pieces one day at a time. So I'm excited to celebrate with you when you get there. I want to hear about it. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. And and celebration is a big part, I think, of success. You got to celebrate the small wins and the big ones. All right. So systems, this is another thing that is so important to keeping you on course. Systems matter. Now, the good news is you already have systems. But when you're cleaning on your own, you can kind of succeed without a system because it's all up here, right? So you have systems, they're all up here. But when you're running a business, those systems need to get out of your brain and captured somehow, whether they're captured, in a document or in a video. But you want to somehow train people by having a list of steps that they need to take. You don't have to write every word out. It can be a high level outline of right now, you already have a sales process. You already have a hiring process, that kind of things. And these models must provide, to get to where you want to go, they have to provide the highest profit. So that means charging what you should be charging, quality of life, if they're going to be successful, and they have to be sustainable. So it has to be something you can do for a long period of time. I have to grab my notes here. All right, so when we talk about systems, I like to talk about McDonald's. My background is in the restaurant industry. My first job was at actually Burger King, but McDonald's was one of the first organizations that systemized their business to such a way that they could duplicate themselves over and over and over again and have grown to thousands of locations nationwide because they took the process of making hamburgers, of making milkshakes and making French fries, turned it into a system, and it was something they could replicate thousands and millions of times over again. And when I was a little girl, there still were McDonald's signs that said how many burgers they had sold, but it was in the millions and millions. I can't remember how many million it was the last time I saw a sign like that. But so we need to think of our business like McDonald's. We don't want to customize our cleaning too much, because if every cleaning is different, I mean, every house is different anyway, but if our process is different in every house, then we can't teach that to someone else. So as you are at just the right spot to start doing this, to think about, this is the most successful way that I clean. So I'm going to try to standardize that from house to house, providing a great quality service and excellence, but doing it in the same pattern in every home. So, think about that, how you can systemize your business in everything that you do, the way that you sell, the way that you talk to people, the way that you hire, the way that you onboard people. All of that will become systems as you grow. You don't have to have it all right now. And the good news is it already kind of exists up here. It's just slowly capturing that over time. And it changes over time too. So once you do capture it, it can still change. My systems are always being changed and updated as we innovate and learn new things. But the great thing is you can change them over and over and over again. Like I said, you already have a system for sales. You're already doing it. And when I had to hire my first salesperson, I just sat down one day and I opened a document and I just made an outline of how I sell. And this helped me to train that salesperson how I sell, because I knew I was doing it in a way that was successful. And I wanted to teach the next person how to do it. And I actually taught them the words that I used and the outline that I used for my sales process. And we ended up creating a little sheet that they could use as an outline as they were talking to new prospective clients. And eventually they learned how to do it without using the sheet. But you will develop a system for hiring and for training your people how to clean. And you'll develop a system for marketing and a system for managing your finances. But start where you are now. You're cleaning. So what's your system for cleaning? Try to think about that and break it down so that when you're training your first person, you have kind of these are the 10 things that we need to go over during your training week, that kind of thing. Before I finish up today, though, I do want to tell you a little bit about the organization that I'm part of. And we've got a big event coming up, and this is a great opportunity for people in the residential cleaning business. I know when I started out in the residential cleaning business, I felt very much alone, and I'm so glad that everybody who's listening to this is part of our Your House Cleaning Business group, because you're not alone. You don't have to go it alone. But when I found Cleaning Business Fundamentals, which is an organization of cleaning business owners who are success-minded, we learn and grow together, I found my tribe. I found people who I could share ideas with, learn with, and grow with. And we are having an event in April called CBF Live. This is a picture of one of our CBF Live events. This year, we're expecting over 400 residential cleaning business owners from all over North America coming together in Fort Worth, Texas, to learn and grow together. So I want to always let people know about this event. It's a great opportunity if you want to learn more and have success strategies for your business. This year, our theme is going to be marketing, branding, and sales. This is very important as you grow your business, as you build your new brand. We're going to be talking about all those successful strategies. So there are going to be hundreds of cleaning business owners there. We're going to have expert speakers. There's a photo there of Josh Latimer. He's a multi-million-dollar success story. Started out as a window cleaner out of the trunk of his car, and now he owns several multi-million-dollar businesses, and he's a marketing expert. He's come to our event several times. And we're going to be sharing a lot of proven strategies, tactics, and tips for the cleaning industry. We're going to have some vendors there so you can learn about different products and services for your business. And we're going to have a lot of discussion and training. One of the things that we celebrate every year at this event are people who have become what we call mop-free millionaires. So those are people who no longer clean in their business and their businesses are over $1 million. This is a picture of the year I received my green jacket when I became a mop-free millionaire. It was one of the best days of my life. And so we celebrate that every year, but the stage keeps getting bigger and bigger. So many people who are members of CBF have learned strategies that have helped them grow their business to $1 million and beyond. Many of the people standing on the stage right now are well over $2 million in their business. And there's a picture in the center. There is my coach, Debbie Sardone. She's the one who developed Cleaning Business Fundamentals. And so she'll be there as well. So just want to let you know about this. If you are interested in joining, feel free to reach out. If you have questions about this event, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be on stage teaching, and I'm just going to be enjoying the event with all the cleaning business owners. It's this April 13th through 15th in Fort Worth, Texas, 3 full days of training. If you want to know more about it, go to cbflive.com. And if you want to join us, you can save 50% off your ticket. And all you have to do is use the code my name Jeannie and the word half. If you type in Jeannie half in the discount code area, you'll get half off your registration. So we'd love to have you there. And if you sign up by March 20th at midnight, that's the last webinar that we're having in this series, you will get a free 1-hour training and strategy session with me private. We'll set that up when it's convenient for you. And I would love to talk about your specific business and give you some strategies that can help you right now to get started. So I wanted to make sure and let you know about that event. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me in our Facebook group. All right. So the final thing that I'm talking about today is your CEO role. This is an important part of that whole starting with you. You are the CEO of your business. Whether you're just starting out or you have 10 employees, you need to act like the CEO. And this was something I struggled with as well. I had to really find myself in that CEO role. And it took me some time, but I'm going to take you through some steps of becoming a business, not just a job. And I think Heather, who's on live with me, that's one of the things that you're transitioning right now, right?
Yes, yeah, because I've cleaned for a long time with just me, and now I'm turning it into a business.
Yeah, yeah. And so this is a great time for you to be in this webinar because we're going to shift your mindset to think about yourself as a business owner, a CEO, no longer the cleaner or only the cleaner. It doesn't mean that you can't be cleaning, but you are the CEO of your business. And so it's going to completely help you think differently about your business. We're going to talk about what your time is worth as the CEO and how to create boundaries around your time, because the only thing we really have is time. That's all we have to sell. And as the CEO, your time becomes more and more valuable as your business grows. And so you have to create boundaries around your time so that you're able to work more on your business instead of in your business. So there's a great book that I love, and Heather and anybody who's watching this replay, I would really suggest you get this book. It's called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. And this is something that he says in this book that really hit me hard. If your business depends on you, you don't own a business, you have a job. And many of us, we start out in business wanting to start a business, but it really is just a job. It's running our lives. We're not running it. And we really want to take control of it. So the E-Myth is a great story about a business owner. She owns a pie company, and she makes really great pie. But as her business grows, she can't seem to stop making the pies. And if she has to make the pies, she doesn't have time to do all the other things she needs to do, like train employees and meet with vendors and do marketing and manage her finances. And so the coach in the story walks this business owner through how to become the CEO and no longer just be the technician in her business. And all of us go through this at one point when you become an entrepreneur. So it's a great book. It's an easy read. You can listen to it on like an Audible while you're doing other things. And so I really strongly suggest this book. And it's entertaining too. So I really enjoyed reading it. So I'm going to share this form with you too. I'm going to drop it in the chat at the end, and I'll make it available with the replay. But know the value of your time. This is such an important thing because when we first start out, we do all the things. And, we think that they're all equally important. But it's good to take time and look at all the things you're doing and put a dollar value on it. One thing I really like to encourage people to do is look at how much money you're making right now, and then look at how much money you want to make in the future. So if, let's say right now you're making $25,000 or whatever that is, but you want to have an income of $100,000 someday. Take $25,000. Actually, I'm going to take my calculator just to kind of illustrate this. So if you are currently, in your cleaning business, bringing in $25,000, the average person works about 2,000 hours a year in all of their work-related activity. So if you divide 25,000 by 2,000, that works out to you're making $12.50 an hour if you are really putting full time into your business. Now, we all know that's not good right now, right? Well, but let's say in the future, a year from now, you want to be making 50,000. So now that brings your rate up to, now you're making $25 an hour for all the time you're putting in. And I'm talking about billing your clients and shopping for supplies and doing laundry and doing sales calls. All of that counts as work time. You can't say, well, I charge $45 an hour for cleaning, so that's how much I'm making, because it's not really true. You're doing a lot of other things to run your business. And then let's say down the road in your future, you want to have $100,000 income in your pocket from your business. That means after paying employees and all your expenses, you're earning $100,000. Now you're making, if you take 100,000 and you divide it by 2,000 hours, now you're making $50 an hour. So your CEO value is 50 an hour. So I want you to assume that your time is worth your future earnings. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to cast that vision that you're not worth what you're earning right now. You are worth what you're going to earn in the future. So if you want to be that $100,000 income earner, that CEO earning 100,000, someday 200,000, when you have $1 million business, that might be what your in the pocket income might be, right? You're a $50 an hour employee. You are not a $20 an hour employee, or you're a $100 an hour employee. Then I want you to think about what you're doing to work in your business. So working in your business would be cleaning, and it would be buying supplies, and it would be paying expenses or collecting payments. Those kinds of things are working in your business. And then I want you to think about what you're doing to work on your business. Working on your business are things that help you grow. So that would be sales, hiring, running employment ads, doing some kind of marketing, social media, getting out there and networking, asking for referrals. Those are all things that are working on your business and bringing new money into your business. So working in your business is working with old money, money you've already earned, clients you've already sold. Working on your business is new money that you're bringing into your business. So I'm going to share this form with you where you can write down all the things you're doing. And then I'm going to ask you to ask yourself, is this working in my business or on my business? And as you grow, you want to see yourself spending more time working on your business instead of in your business, because when you're working on your business, you're doing that $50 or $100 an hour CEO work. When you're working in your business, you're doing that $12.50 to $25 an hour in your business kind of work. So I hope that helps you see that differentiation. So I'm going to share this form with you, and this is a great exercise. It's kind of like, instead of going on Facebook and doing one of those quizzes where you find out, what your personality type is or whatever, take the time to do this and find out how much time you're working in the CEO space right now, and try every week to get more time. Another great step you can do is put how many hours you're doing that. So if it's cleaning, maybe you're cleaning 25 hours a week, you're spending an hour getting your supplies together, you're spending a couple hours doing laundry, an hour maintaining your equipment, whatever those things are, write them all down and put hours to them as well. So this is a really eye-opening exercise, because you probably don't realize how much you're doing. You're doing a lot. I know you are, all of you who are watching this video. So make sure that you understand when you're doing CEO work, and just try to do more of it. Now, this is a powerful one right here. So Heather, right now I'm assuming your personal phone is your business phone. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Yes. And that's the way most of us start out. This phone right here, and maybe not this one, it was a few years ago, but it was my business phone. And my phone number was my business phone number. And I was sharing it everywhere. And what that ended up doing to me was it let people into my life at all hours of the day and night. And I felt like I had to answer the phone no matter what, because I couldn't afford to lose a sale. And I couldn't afford to not hire that employee. And if a client was messaging me at 10 o'clock at night, I would respond. And what it ended up doing was it was really damaging to my family life and my relationships. And it really ate up all of my mind space and my emotional energy. So early on, if you're just starting your cleaning business, I'm going to encourage you to start thinking about what you're going to do about your phone. It goes from just being you to being a business. And there, I didn't know this at the time, but there are lots of apps out there that can act as a second phone number that you can actually use on your phone. I have one on my phone, and it's called a voice over IP app. And there are a bunch of them out there. I'm going to talk about this during the technology week, which is our final week 4. But take your phone number or create a new phone number now. You can actually get even a free phone number on Google Phone, but try to separate your personal life on your phone and your business life as early as you can. Don't make the mistake that I did, where my personal phone was the business phone for, gosh, at least 2 years. And then I had to train all my clients how to use a different phone number. Now, one thing that I have seen many people do is, they've gotten to such a size where they have like 50 or 100 clients that have their personal phone number. So instead of getting a new phone number for their business, they make their personal phone number the business phone number, and they go get another phone number. So, but I want you to just start thinking about that now while you have the power to take control of it, because this is one of the biggest mistakes I made, and I don't want you to make it. So as you're growing your business, create a new phone number for your business, or give the business your personal phone number and move on to a new phone number, which for some people can be painful, but it's whatever works best for you. But there are a whole bunch of phone services out there that you can use. Another boundary that I'm going to encourage you to set is business hours. One of the things that we often do, and many of us do this in the cleaning business, is we will accept calls and we will communicate with people at all hours, nights and weekends. And I did this in my business because I felt like it was necessary. And it ate me alive. And it really affected my relationships with my family. I remember my 15-year-old son, he's the one that I was so concerned about. And he's one of the big reasons why I started this business, because I wanted to spend more time with him before he was all grown up and out of my house. He's 22 now, but he was my why. And he would be like, "Hey mom, can I ask you a question?" I'd be like, "Oh no, wait a minute. I got to call. I got to get this. I'll be right back with you." And I was constantly putting him off because this device was controlling my life. And so, can you relate to that a little bit, Heather?
Yeah, I always try to set business hours for myself. Yeah, I'm really doing that already. So that's a really good thing to touch on. Yes.
Yeah, good. I'm so glad to hear that you're doing that. And that was one of the mistakes I didn't do. So setting your business hours and letting your clients and your team know that you will be available to communicate between this time and this time. And don't respond unless it's like on fire outside of those hours. And one of the things that I did that was really helpful was I had a note that I saved in the notes on my phone. And if someone messaged me outside of business hours, I would just copy and paste that. And it would say that my business hours are this, and I will follow up with you on the next business day after thus and such time. And it looked like an automated message. I know that Androids can actually automate that. Android phones can. I have an Apple, so it doesn't, but I would just copy and paste that message into a text, or I would text back if somebody would call me on their phone, just to let them know that I got your call, but I will follow up with you tomorrow. And it really helped people to respect my time as the business owner. And even when I had employees, it taught them to respect my time as well as the leader of the business. I also encourage you to prioritize family time, to make sure that you are scheduling that into your week. What you schedule is more likely to happen. What you don't schedule, it's just like goals. If you don't schedule it, it probably won't. So I want to encourage you to make sure and schedule family time and plan things like vacations, no matter how far in the future they are. This is a success strategy because people who rest are more creative. They accomplish more actually than people who don't rest. They make less mistakes. And they just have an overall better life, right? They have a more joyful life. They're healthier, right? What good are you to your family and your team if you aren't healthy? So if you wear yourself out, that's not good. So schedule vacation time, schedule self-care. It could be a massage. It could be a manicure. It could be going to lunch with a good friend or visiting, a relative. Those types of things are so important. And that's what successful people do. And I want to encourage you to do that from the get-go. It's very, very important. And these are mistakes that I made early in my business. So if you really want to keep growing, don't burn yourself out, because that's when you run into a wall and you can't get past a plateau because you're just too tired to think clearly. So make sure that you're scheduling family time, vacation time, and self-care. All right. So, Heather, are you still with me there? You can unmute.
Yeah,
right.
sorry, I'm still here.
Okay, good. Do you have any questions as I've been talking about that? I know you had some, thinking about hiring, and we're definitely going to talk about that at one of the future webinars. Anything about what I talked about today that you have questions about?
I can't think of any questions right now. I've definitely been taking notes, and yeah, you've had a lot of good points and just a lot of things for me to think about, so I don't think I have any questions right now. Sorry, that's my grandson.
Hello. Well, that's one of the things that, is important, is that you're spending time with your little ones. What's one thing that jumped out to you today that is like, oh, that's something I work
on? Really probably the systems, because that's one of the biggest things I've been thinking about already at this point, is having the systems in place. And like, I've been trying to post things on my Google business as much as I can, and so just that marketing and having those systems in place, definitely.
Yeah. And you can start small. So if you haven't tried it before, there's a free app on Google called Google Docs. Have you used that before?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So you can just start a Google Doc around something that you want to record and just create an outline for, this is how I sell. And there isn't a right or a wrong, just record how you do it. Maybe it's 10 steps, and just keep it you don't have to write a lot of words, just step 1, step 2, step 3. You don't have to describe it in paragraphs of how you do it. We call this creating a playbook. And, starting small, just create, recording a few things that you are doing right now. Like, this is how I process a payment. This is, this is where I get all the supplies, so that someday when you have an employee, they can help you go get your supplies because you have it all documented. This is where I get them. This is how I order them. So that's one of the easiest things to start early, and just keep it simple. Yeah. And that's what we do in my business. We just create simple documents that are easy to refer to. Sometimes when we're training someone else, we'll create a video, but that's easy to do these days with phones and technology. Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that you found it helpful.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's where I'm at right now, where what I want to do is start listing those, step by steps. This is how I do this. This is how I do the cleaning. That really stood out to me tonight. So
Good. Well, and I want to encourage you too. One of the things that we say in Cleaning Business Fundamentals is that done is better than perfect. So, whatever you can get done, do that. And you can always add to it, change it, update it, work on it later, improve it. But having a place where you can start is great. I've had so many people that I've known over the years that I've been in the cleaning business who get stuck because they're like, well, I can't hire because I don't have my whole cleaning process documented. And that's not really true. You don't have to do that. I did not have my cleaning business documented when I started my business, and I grew to over 100 clients without having a documented cleaning process. So, you know, but it does help you get started to have a little outline. So when you have a few minutes here or there, it really feels good to get it out of here and on and into a document. So, well, I appreciate you being here with me tonight. Thank you so much. And so this same link, you can use this for all 4 webinars. So our next one is on Monday, the 13th, and we're going to be talking about how to attract the right clients. So we'll talk a little bit about pricing and what's important about pricing and what's not important about pricing and what clients are looking for. So thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. And to everyone who's watching the replay, I hope you enjoyed it. You can reach out to me. I'm Coach Jeannie Henderson with Cleaning Business Fundamentals, and we'll see you next time.